Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, and in this video we are going to be discussing just kind of how the YCS Niagara Ultimate Time Wizard went for me and just the weekend in general. For those of you who've been following any coverage of the event, you will know that Christius Warren ended up winning the event, actually against Welladad in the finals, which was pretty cool to see. It was a very, very cool, diverse top 8. I don't remember all the deck lists, but I know there was like 3 frogs, a couple different variants of frogs, I should say. There's the Christius Warren, the Welladad, Sack Phase with Vayu, and there was a Tethys Turbo deck list in top 8 as well. And I can't think of what the last list was. It might have just been a Blackwing deck. I'm not too sure. Or it might have been a second Vayu. But I checked the Konami blog. They didn't have the deck list posted like they have for other events. So I'm not too sure. So if you were the other duelist that I didn't mention their deck for, my bad. I just didn't catch it. But the tournament was really good, and for those of you who watched my series winning a YCS, you're probably wondering how I did in the event, and I would love to sit here and tell you, oh, like we fought tooth and nail and we bubbled, or like I topped or whatever. But you know what, it was probably the worst tournament I've ever played in personally, just for in terms of how my games went, and to no fault of anyone's. It was just Yu-Gi-Oh's a game of trying to out unfair your opponent, and sometimes you get paired up against some rogue decks you're not expecting, and they get to do their stuff. It happens. So there's nothing to be mad about, nothing to be bothered by. But I wish things had shooken out a bit differently. But unfortunately, I just wasn't able to put on the showing that I wanted for the deck, because the deck itself, in all the 4 rounds I did play, did its thing. It played well. The theory behind the deck felt very strong. I will be doing a deck profile after I film this quick recap video, but I kind of wanted to separate the deck profile from the actual tournament results, because the tournament results were brutal. They were bad, and I don't think it's a reflection on how strong the deck is. I think it was just more of a matchup thing for me this weekend, and that's gonna happen. There's no shame in putting in time and effort to prepare for an event and just not having the results you want. It's gonna happen. Yu-Gi-Oh's a game of variance, and any day can be anyone's day, and it's not gonna be your day every event. So all things considered, I'm very happy with the deck that I brought. I don't regret any of the decisions I made when deck building. So I'm very excited to put that video out for you guys later, either today or tomorrow. From whenever you're seeing this, today's the Monday, so either tonight or tomorrow on Tuesday. So keep an eye out for that. But as far as my few rounds I played, round 1 I lost to Tethys Turbo, but it was like this guy's own brew of it. I was talking to him beforehand. His name's Harrison. Really nice guy. Fun to play against, but he was like, "Oh, like I don't get to play too much anymore, but I wanted to just throw together my own style." So he was playing Tethys with like Magical Mallet and Reload, and game 1 he like drew, it felt like 30 cards. Like he was just cycling his deck through like constantly with Reload and Magical Mallet, as those do trigger Tethys. And he was playing like Eatos, so he would go Eatos special, tribute summon for Tethys, start drawing with Magical Mallet and Reload. And I think after he did his combo, he had a Christie on board, and he had like Double Honest and 4 Heralds in his hand. It was kind of insane. But I was just sitting there at one point, before I realized what was happening, when I started seeing the Magical Mallets and the Reloads, I thought I was going to get like Exodia FTK'd, but no, it ended up just being Tethys Turbo. And game 1 he was able to just completely pop off and go crazy. And it was cool to see. I was kind of frustrated because I'm like, what is this? Like, where's Black Wings? I want to play Black Wings. But no, it was kind of a crazy round 1. Game 1, he went off. Game 2, also I want to clarify, I did win the dice roll, so I went first and I had a pretty good board. Like I had 1-for-1 Dandy. I ended with, I think it was like an Amaryllis, a Titanial, and like I drew 2, and I had like a trap stun or something, but like he didn't have any traps, so it was a really good turn 1 for me. It's just not for the situation that I was putting myself into. But game 2 was very quick. He didn't really get to much of anything, and I think I karma cutted his Christia the second he summoned it, and then that was kind of the end of the match, or the game. And then game 3, I was in a pretty good position at one point, and he had just a set monster on field, and it was the Arcana Knight, or not Arcana Knight, but the Arcana the Fool. I'll put it on screen, I think, if I remember to edit this, but it's like a Spear Reaper, like you can't beat over it by battle. I know it's the Fool, I forget the rest of the name of the card, but he was sitting on that for, I think it was like almost 8 turns, and I had Lightning Vortex in deck, I had Karma Cut in deck, Skill Drain in deck. I had a bunch of ways to remove it, and I couldn't see them, so he was able to kind of clear my board, attack through a bunch of stuff. He had a Soul Purity and Light on the field, and an Honest in hand. He finally made a push, almost brought me down below, he got me down below 1,000, and then I finally drew into a way to make Black Rose and just blow up the board. Someone pointed out to me after, had I just made Colossal Fighter there, because I had a token on board as well, so I could have made an 8. If I had made Colossal Fighter, he didn't have a way to out it at that time, but also, like, in hindsight, I guess, like, there's no way for me to know he doesn't have a way to just, like, tribute summon for Christia, because he had 4 monsters on field, so if I just make Colossal Fighter and he summons Christia, I lose anyways, so I figured I would nuke the board with Black Rose, summon back Amaryllis, because I had one more activation of it, and then hope he just didn't have a way to put pressure on board, and he was able to summon a couple of bodies and game me there. And then round 2, I lost the dice roll. Shout out to my opponent, Adam. He was also nice to play against, and he was playing a deck that I think is really, really cool, and I want to look into and explore. But it's that Dark Simorgh Dragon deck that E3 put out maybe like a month ago at this point. But it's a really cool deck, and it does a lot of really cool unfair things. Like it plays Future Fusion, Brain Con, Card Destruction, Dark Arm Dragon, all the DDRs to bring back your dragons and stuff. It's really cool. And game one, again, I had a really good opening board. I had access to Titanial. I feel like I had ways to out the Future Fusion, like, or not out the Future Fusion, but he summoned out the 5-headed dragon, and I was able to, like, Cyber Valley, steal with Mind Control, banish, draw 2 off of it. I was able to Brain Con, crash both his red meds because he summoned back 2 after he activated the Future Fusion, so that was pretty good. But it got to a point where he just simply had more. He was able to DDR, bring back one of the red meds after playing through all of my stuff, and there wasn't a whole lot I could do. And then in game 2, I kind of had a bit of a bricky hand, but it was like a standard Amaryllis brick where you just have like double Titanial and an Amaryllis. So I'm playing with like 3 cards. But he also doesn't really have too much. And I interact with what he does do. And then he ends up making a Colossal Fighter, which, for those of you who don't know, very good into Amaryllis. It's hard to out it. And you can just crash over Titanial as much as you want. And I have a way to make a level 8 using a token. I Mark of the Rose to his Dark Grepher, and I have a Gale in hand. So I make a level 8, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, I don't have a play. I just need to stall out for a few turns, because I'm at 8,000 life points. Like, I'm completely fine. So I'm like, at least our Colossal Fighters will just sit there and crash over and over until he's able to make a play, because he wasn't really able to do anything at this point. And then I'm like, okay, well, I can maybe buy a few turns, find a trade in or something, and just start making plays. So I make the Colossal Fighter. I out the other stuff on his board. So it's just, we each have a Colossal Fighter. That's it. And I have an MST set, and that's it. And he goes, draw for turn, activate Brain Control, special summon Dark Simorgh, attack for game. Like, in the moment, frustrated, for sure. But I looking back on it, it's like, yeah, like, you know, Brain Control's crazy, and if you only have 1 monster on board and it happens to have 2,800 attack, yeah, you can get gamed from it pretty quickly. So not much I could have done there. Again, shout out to Harrison and Adam. They were really fun to play with and play against, and they're both playing really cool decks. And, you know, it's just unfortunate that I did not draw capable of playing into what they were able to do. Both their decks were able to pop off and kind of do their thing. So shout outs to them. Pretty cool. But after that, I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to drop. I'll just play it out until I lose a third one, just because, you know, I don't want to go and sit and play Edison pods on the side. But round 3, I paired against Black Wings. 2-0. The deck did what it was supposed to. It was very efficient in it. It was like a 15-20 minute match, not even. My opponent, Ryan, nice guy. Kind of bricked on game one, but I mean, yeah, my deck just did what it was supposed to. It was fantastic. And then round four, unfortunately, I got paired against a guy that he came up with. There was a group of guys from Windsor that are buddies with my buddy who plays Modern that we were with, so we were getting to know them over the weekend. And shout out Saruk, we got paired against each other, and so he knew what I was playing, I knew what he was playing. We were kind of having like a fun back and forth match. It wasn't anything too crazy, and then it got to a point, game two, where I had a Chaos Sorcerer face up with Amaryllis and a token and a Torrential set, and he had one card in hand, a back row, um, and he had a way to summon Armed Wing. He had Vayu and Sirocco Engrave. So he summons back the Armed Wing, and I don't Torrential, because if I Torrential and the monster in his hand, or if he has a monster in his hand, because he didn't search it, I don't know what it is. If he has a normal summon, I lose because I'm at 1,000 life points. But if he attacks into Chaos Sorcerer and crashes them, okay, I'm fine with that because I have follow up and I have plays to make. But he happened to have Kalut in hand. He hard drew one of the Kalutes, so that's how my tournament ended. Again, it's not my day, and I do want to just stress to people out there, like, you're going to put in time and effort. You're going to do all the theory, do all the testing, do the side decking. You're going to go to locals and dominate and be super confident in yourself and your deck choice. And you might just get paired against people who are just, they're doing well. Their deck's firing on all cylinders, and you can't be upset about that. So you got to reflect, and you got to look at, kind of how you got there. I replayed a lot of the matches just in my head, just thinking about, like, okay, did I make a mistake here or there? And it's important to point out when you make mistakes, but sometimes it's as simple as your opponent drew better, or not even your opponent drew better, just you were not prepared for a certain situation and your deck wasn't able to get out of it. Like, for example, the Arc the Fool. Like, I had outs to it, but if I don't draw them, then I can't be mad that I'm sitting there unable to push and do damage. So that was it for the tournament report. As far as that goes, not my day. It's not my day, and it's okay. But for the rest of the tournament, though, it was just a lot of fun. Did some trading, sold some cards, saw a lot of people that I didn't actually meet before. I want to shout out OG Gary, winner of not back to back, but 2 RBETs this year. Got to meet him in person, so that was kind of cool. I hadn't met him before. Really nice guy. And then I was able to meet ProStorm. For those of you that play online, I'm sure you recognize the name ProStorm, but I was able to meet him, and that was a lot of fun. And got to say hi to Fraser Smith again, and Sackvase, and talk to them a bit, and talk about their tournament runs, both of which got top 8. Fraser ended up getting 3rd, actually. So shout out to them. That was pretty cool. But yeah, just a lot of good conversations with a lot of good players this weekend. It was cool, kind of trying to integrate myself more into the community and, like, get to know more of the players that focus on Edison, because a lot of my buddies that play Edison, their focus is still Modern. They don't play Edison or care about Edison on the level that I do. So it's kind of nice being able to go and meet more people from the community that are, like, really passionate about it, and get to know them more and put faces to some of the names I've seen online. So shout out to all you guys. Shout out to Henry as well from Toronto. I know you're probably going to watch this video, but you were just lovely to talk to, and he's running and trying to push the Toronto Edison scene. And for those of you who don't know Toronto, it's only like 4 hours from Windsor, so it'll be kind of cool to get up there in the future and play some tournaments, hopefully, for some cool prizes. So that's pretty much it, though, for the tournament report. Like I said, I wanted to do this separate from the deck profile, because despite the results, I still stand by the list that I built, and I feel like it was a lot of fun playing it and testing with it. It felt strong, and yeah, sometimes you just gotta take the blows and wait for the next tournament. For those of you that are not aware, this is probably the last IRL Yu-Gi-Oh tournament that I'm going to travel for until at least next summer, as I got a lot of stuff going on in my personal life that I need to save vacation days and stuff for before then. So don't expect me at any RBTs or YCSs in the near future, I would say. But I do plan on entering a lot of the online tournaments through Edison Format Discord and the Format Library Discord, because I want to start branching out, playing new decks, and and just, you know, taking advantage of the fact that I can play whatever I want when I'm playing at home. So I'm going to try and get better and get ready for next summer when hopefully I'm able to make it to nationals next year, because that was just one of the best trips I've ever been on with my buddies. So the goal is to be ready for then and see if there's a deck out there other than Amaryllis that piques my interest or sucks me in and makes me put this much time and effort into it. So thank you guys for sticking around and watching this video. Look forward to a couple of videos coming up. I got some ideas I'm going to work on. Like I said, if you're watching this video and you're wondering about my deck profile or the deck list for Amaryllis, it's coming. It'll be out, like I said, later today, tomorrow. I'm going to film it right now, and then as long as I have the time to get everything ready for it, I'm just going to post it right away. So thanks again, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers. Bye. Hey there. Appreciate you sticking around to the end of this video. If you liked what you just watched, please check out one of the recommended videos or playlists on screen. If you enjoy content on Edison Yu-Gi-Oh! Including deck profiles, deck building theory, meta and card discussions, as well as retro video games, I would appreciate it if you subscribed and gave this video a like. I am Chris Lindsay of No Suck Gaming. Thanks for watching.